The Club Max Murder, a quick synopsis by Robert P. Fitton. A stunning woman sits at the end of the Club Max bar. Her name is Gina Quintel, and although we never get to see Gina Quintel alive, she plays an important role, dead, in the Club Max murder. Father Jim Gallagher would always tell Jones over and over again about the risky behavior at Club Max in Prince William, New Hampshire. Coco Stefani, owner of Club Max and best friend of Jones, shrugs off Gallagher's admonitions. Jones, although a frequent visitor to his friend's establishment, knows that keeping his players out of Club Max before a game is probably a good idea. In this book, a Sherlock Holmes buff named Charles E. Daniels is an obnoxious know-it-all who screws up Jones's searching for the murderer. But with Coco's intolerance for nonsense, Daniels finds himself in a very precarious situation. Daniels knows that a hooker was employing her trade upstairs at the Covington Arms apartment in Prince William, New Hampshire. A young man's voice calls out, "Gina, Gina," and then runs like a steer out of the pen, down the stairs and leaves on a motorcycle. The hooker, Gina Quintel, is dead, and the kid in the room is Jones's star football player, Joe Sabota. And Joe Sabota becomes missing very quickly as the big game for Jones is coming up at the end of the week. Fortunately for Jones, the dumbbell security cop at the college, Bucky Driscoll, and his sister Muriel land in Florida on vacation and are out of the area. Arnie Dewar sticks his nose into the investigation and says, "Some kid with a motorcycle is being held at the Prince William police station for murder." There's a black low rider that is hanging out around the police station and everywhere else around Jones. Somebody's looking through the windows with binoculars. Jones doesn't want to use little Larry Resnick for the big game. Plus, Resnick and Sabota hate each other. Resnick is a broadcaster at the campus radio station. The pompous Herbert Lane tells Jones, "Stay out of this, Jones." Kip Bosco adds that the situation is completely under control. "Hit the showers, Coachy." Joe Sabota broke up with Miss Wonderful, Marlena Peterson, and was seeing a girl, the hooker, in Prince William. Clarence Moody, his roommate, owns a knife, and a knife has been found at the site of the murder. Two witnesses, Daniels and Mrs. O'Toole, his neighbor, saw Joe Sabota holding the dead woman. In his jail cell, head in hands, Joe cries out, "I love Gina. I'm not a murderer." He met Gina Quintel, you guessed it, at Club Max. She said she wanted to talk. Jones will stay at St. Bart's in the rectory while he investigates the murder. He thinks that someone hired Gina Quintel to be Joe Sabota's girlfriend, but who would want to pay her and set up Joe? Father Gallagher, driving around in his huge Lincoln, thinks that Joe is being framed. And Coco Stefani, it's rumored, was paying Gina Quintel to be a hooker. Coco is hiding out and is nowhere to be seen. Daniel said he did not see Sabota kill Gina Quintel. And he tells Jones, "Sherlock Holmes and I are old friends." Jones rolls his eyes. Daniels is chased in his old Etzel at high speed and becomes airborne. In the mirror is a low rider, the same low rider that was in front of the police station. A shot shatters the rear window and two bullets puncture the driver's door. Jones tries to locate Coco but is unable to do it. Larry Resnick, who will be starting at quarterback in place of Joe, gets on the air at the campus radio station and tells people that Joe Sabota is guilty of the murder of Gina Quintel. When Jones arrives at Club Max, he finds Daniels at the bar and is shocked to see that the older man is quite the ladies' man with the bartender. The bartender is smiling and handing him drink after drink. It's later learned that Coco pays Bosco big money to keep his mouth shut about certain girls. Kip Bosco later on blocks the door when Jones tries to get in. He's eating a hot dog and munching on fries. Daniels recognizes Bosco from having gone up to Gina Quintel's apartment. Bosco, as usual, is on the take. And so we have Joe Sabota's roommate, Clarence Moody, owner of a knife very similar to the murder weapon, and Larry Resnick, just loving taking Joe's place as starting quarterback and stealing away his girl, Marlena. Things get worse for Joe Sabota, and he ends up being locked in the state institution over in Newtown. When a wild chase scene takes place with the low rider, once again, flames will fly. And it's possible that Coco could be involved. Coco is adamant when Jones finds him. I didn't kill Gina Quintel. There's stuff going on here, Jonesy. Stay out of it. Boston's involved. Milt Karpis is involved, the fat little punk with delusions of grandeur. Welcome to the real world, Jonesy. Well, Milt Karpis does get involved, and he comes out gunning for Coco, and a wild shootout takes place at Club Max with Coco and Jones inside the building. In the end, Milt Karpis is put down thanks to Jones. You saved my ass, Jonesy. On the way back to Hamilton, an on-air confession by one of the suspects, and then hostages are held at the radio station. Daniels can only quote Sherlock Holmes. Logic is only as good as your facts. Then we have our usual epilogue, which ends the Jones story. The Club Max Murder is available at Amazon in Kindle and paperback. The audio is at audible.com and iTunes. I'm Robert P. Fitton, and this has been a quick synopsis of the Club Max Murder.